Colleen Ballinger is facing massive backlash this week, and it all has to do with new realizations that people have made about this video that Adam posted 3 years ago now. At the time, when Adam spoke out about Colleen, he was met with tons of backlash from the Colleen fandom and even some major influencers. A lot more has come out this week, and we need to talk about it. It's a mess, so let's get into it. 3 years ago now, Adam McIntyre came out with a video titled Colleen Ballinger, Stop Lying. In this video, he detailed his personal experience with Colleen and how she tried to manipulate and use him to her own advantage. Keep in mind, Adam was a young teenager and Colleen was in her 30s. In this video, he talked about how he was in group chats with Colleen and the conversations would get pretty inappropriate. She would talk about all her personal issues that kids just shouldn't have to deal with, like divorce and relationship issues.
Very quickly, we started talking a lot. And my parents were really happy to see the fact that someone like Colleen Ballinger was so dedicated to talking to all of her fans. This slowly turned into me getting private details about her divorce and what was happening with the relationship with her ex-husband. Around this time though was whenever my parents started getting a little bit more cautious and were wondering why a 30-year-old was talking to, at this time, a 13-year-old about her divorce.
He talked about how she sent him lingerie in the mail from one of her live streams. She was getting video ideas from him and never paid him for any of his work. You could tell this video was so hard for Adam to make because he was a huge fan of Colleen and he did look up to her. But at 17, he realized how wrong Colleen was and the damage it caused him. The tipping point was when Colleen gave Adam access to her Miranda Sings Twitter account so he could post for her and help her get her engagement up. Adam had this one idea where Miranda Sings would say that she has this big announcement to make and the announcement would be her coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan.
So then came a tweet about Miranda Sings coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan, which she was initially confused about, and she says, "I don't know what you're saying about Meghan." So then I explained it again and Colleen was fully going to go ahead posting it herself, as you can see here. So I helped give her the photos and the concept and she said, "When should I do that? Should I do that today or tomorrow before I post the video?" And I said, "What are you waiting for, today?" And she says, "Okay, cool." Showing that she had every single intention to post this tweet on her own behalf. And then on the 26th of March at 12 minutes past 10 p.m, she messaged me and said, "I have a present for you today. I've never done this with anyone, but I'm trusting you." And then she proceeded to tell me about how she was planning on making me her social media intern. Right now, I'm considering you my social media intern, but if things go well, we can talk about me hiring you part-time for an hourly rate. I don't like using your creativity and insight for free, so just know I'm not planning on taking advantage of your help. I'm planning on making it more official if it works out that way. How does that sound, Queen? So then I got into the account and she basically just sent me a message saying go crazy.
Adam sent the idea to Colleen, she approved it, and Adam posted it. Unfortunately, the internet didn't love the joke and Colleen got a ton of backlash, leading to a notepad apology from Colleen. Now, let's just put ourselves in Adam's shoes for a second. He was a young teenager, he looks up to Colleen, massive fan, and he was just given what he feels is this huge opportunity to work for Colleen and was even trusted with her Twitter.
Alright, so what's the fucking point, people?
Welcome back to the comments section. I'm Brett Cooper. We have a little bit of internet drama today.
The suspense is terrible. He's gonna go this time. I hope it'll last.
There is a famous YouTuber who is currently under fire for grooming and pedo behavior, and that is Colleen Ballinger, but you might know her best as Miranda Sings. I think you know her. She wears the bright red, high-waisted sweatpants, the lipstick all over her mouth. She was really, really big in the 2014 to 2016 era, I would say. I think those are the years that I really remember her when all of my friends were dressing up as her for Halloween. She was everywhere on the internet, and Miranda Sings was somebody that I was never allowed to watch. And I don't think it was because my mom thought that she was inappropriate. My mom thought that she was incredibly annoying and stupid and added no value to my life, which looking back is an incredibly valid reason to say no to content. If it is a mind-numbing time suck, your children do not need to watch it. You do not need to just put them up in front of a TV and go, "Oh, well, it's not terrible, so I'll just let them." No, if it's stupid, they don't need to watch it. My mom was queen of that. But anyway, I don't have much of a connection to Miranda Sings. Sings. I'm not heartbroken over these allegations, but when I was younger, my friends were obsessed with her, so I know her through them. But it is not looking good for Miranda, aka Colleen, these days. Before we get into that story, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not. All right, so I first saw this story on Pop Crave. It was posted before the weekend. Colleen Ballinger, YouTuber known for her character Miranda Sings, is under fire for engaging in a pattern of inappropriate behavior with underage fans. She's being accused of grooming, manipulating fans into doing free labor for her, bullying, and more. And then here's a photo of her. That's just Colleen being Colleen. Somebody commented and said, I found her YouTube character absolutely annoying and insufferable and got such bad vibes from her as a person. I am so glad y'all have seen the light.
What? How could you say something like that?
Somebody else said, when the random e-celeb you dislike for just being dumb and annoying and unfunny is finally outed for a legitimate reason to dislike them. That is how I feel right now. Like, great. Now there's an actual reason that I can say I dislike her other than just, I think that she added no value to anyone's life. But apparently, this isn't new information. I am just hearing this for the first time, again, because I was never like a Miranda Sings stan, but this has been going around the internet for a while. Somebody said, this new? I thought she got accused of this years ago. She's still doing this? Another person said, again, I remember this already happened a few times, and somebody replied to that and said, didn't happen again, it's just being brought back up now. So obviously it's new to me, so let's just dive in. Now this all started when an ex-fan named Adam McIntyre started speaking out on YouTube and posting videos about how he believed that he was groomed and exploited by Colleen, aka Miranda Sings. Now in that era of YouTube, people were more engaged with their fans, and so Colleen was in these group chats with her fans and she was DMing her fans. It was like the era of, you know, Taylor Swift on Tumblr with all of her fans, if you guys know that era. But anyway, he posted something in 2020. It got 1.7 million views, but he was bullied by Miranda's fans, Colleen's fans, into silence, but he is now speaking out. Again, here is the most recent video. It's just from 4 days ago. And then in addition to his videos that he's been posting, somebody did a super long thread on Twitter with a lot of clips from her channel and her live shows that she would do. She toured for a really long time, showing this incredibly inappropriate and disgusting behavior like this one, where she pretends to be on a date with a 9-year-old boy who she pulled up from the audience and has him reach in her pants for a snack.
And so now, watch this. We're on the date, James. It's really romantic. Oh, we're getting close and personal. Oh, but I'm so hungry, James. Hold on, I got a snack.
Was this in your self-help book?
Was this in my self-help book?
Was it? Because I brought self-help with me and I was just wondering.
Well, shouldn't you know if you've read it? I'm just kidding, James. I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm just kidding. Do you want a cheese ball?
I'd love them. I can't believe I'm reaching in there right now.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. It's just like, obviously, people are laughing at this, and it's like, oh, it's so funny. She keeps like cheese, like Miranda, the character, kept like cheese balls in her pants. But did nobody think that maybe this was a bit odd that a 9-year-old boy that she's bringing on stage to pretend like they're on a date is reaching in her pants? And his parents are just laughing about it, and the audience is just laughing about it. Like, it's just, again, it's just odd. Now, apparently this was a normal thing and a normal skit that she did because somebody quote tweeted that video and said, help, the way this literally happened to me in middle school, and here's a photo of that person also reaching into her pants. Like, what freaking person gets on stage and is like, oh yeah, this is great. Like, now here's another video. It was posted to that.
I mean, if it's part of her bit, it's part of her bit. Obviously, including 9-year-olds in your bit is fucking weird. Creepy. Yeah.
Same thread from her live show where she had a little girl, a child, pretending to give birth on stage. This little girl had a script that she was reading, and this is just like, it's incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh, I see the head. Ready? Kneel. All right. Scene.
Oh, I'm so pregnant.
Oh, how are you doing, dear sister-in-law? I'm so excited for you to give birth to this baby. I love little girls. Oh, do you need a poo massage?
No, it's not a poo, it's a baby. Oh, I'm so pregnant. I just know it. I am.
Well, let's get you to the hospital. Run, get out the car. Oh, I'm the nurse.
Okay, before we even get into the weirder part, like, who thinks this is funny? Who gave this person a
for
platform? Real. This is so dumb. The humor is so dumb.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Why does she have a live show? Like, I genuinely don't know.
To get this baby out from you. Just push from your tookie really hard. And breathe across, breathing like this. Oh, you smell fertile.
She just said, oop, you smell fertile when a little girl is on stage giving birth. Like, it's freaking weird. It's inappropriate. And again,
Super weird.
It's not funny. I'm not even saying this is some like prude. Objectively, this isn't laughable. This isn't comedy whatsoever.
If it smells fertile, that's what they say. Now push!
She's now in between the little girl's legs. Like, it's so wrong. Did nobody watch this and go, oh, hey, maybe this is not the most comfortable thing or appropriate thing? Apparently not. Now, somebody commented under this one and said, I think this and other Miranda Sings videos on this thread show that she should have put in more effort into either making this character more family friendly or being strict about the fact that Miranda wasn't meant to be family friendly in the first place. I think that this is a really important point because when she and her ex-husband, I believe, first started making these Miranda videos and their vlogs over a decade ago, they were definitely sexually explicit. Like, there was one vlog where she was reaching down her ex-husband's pants and he was saying, no, don't do that. And she was on camera. Like, all of it was so inappropriate. Like this video on how to kiss, and she chose to use some very interesting objects for this. Meanwhile, her audience was rapidly becoming child-based.
A hairbrush. As you can see, it's a perfectly good size. It's a little bit bigger than the lipstick.
You want to put that in?
That's her ex-husband.
Lips around it.
Can we leave
What
all
the
hair out?
fuck?
No, it makes it more realistic. A lot of people have hairs.
No comment. Like, obviously, the sexual innuendo is there. And again,
What
her
the-
audience was primarily children. Maybe it didn't start off that way, but it became primarily children, the people who were buying her books. There are videos of her doing book signings. Everybody at the stupid Barnes and Nobles were children. And she still thought that all of this was okay. And she didn't draw a line in the sand and say, hey guys, this really was not supposed to be for kids. No, she leaned into it. And that is the problem. Like, I don't know when or how her audience changed, but I know that when I was like 11 to 12 years old, she was the hot YouTuber for my age group. She should have addressed that in some way or another, but instead she just went further down this path, and it is a terrible look. Somebody commented and said, this exists, but people are more concerned about drag shows. Like, no, we are concerned about all of it. That is the point. We are concerned about the sexualization and exploitation of children under the guise of harmless entertainment. We're concerned about all of it. We're not picking and choosing here. It's important to be consistent. Like, look at these thumbnails that she, for some reason, thought were okay. How to ride a child, and I'm a pedophile? It's shocking. Here's another example of her bringing a kid on stage and putting her into an obviously sexualized position. So she had the girl on her back with her legs spread in a dress and then played a fart noise, obviously to embarrass this child. Like, I don't even know who let her have these live shows after all of this. Here's a terrible comparison that she made in one of her vlogs. This is relatively more recent.
I can't. You want a tour of my house? There are leaks all over my house right now. Brand new house, by the way. And every time it rains, it leaks. Just like a teenage girl's vagina. I can't believe I'm gonna say this. It leaks so much like a little girl's creases when she watching me. Like a little girl's creases when she's watching those strange little boys on Musical.ly. I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, if you can't believe that you just said
What
that, maybe
the
you shouldn't.
fuck?
That isn't something that you accidentally said and then you cut out later on. You tried to find the best way to say that 3 times and then chose to leave all 3 in because you thought it was so funny. It's not. And yes, Miranda Sings is a character of Colleen's, and people will argue that we have to look at her as an actor and she's just playing a role and she's not inappropriate. Miranda Sings is just inappropriate. But why would this 30-year-old woman choose to play this role when her fan base is dominated by kids? Like, does nobody else think that that is weird? Plus, she herself has said that
definitely
Miranda is quite literally part of her. Miranda says all the things that Colleen wishes she could say and do.
Do you ever mean what she's saying?
Yes, all the time. There's a lot of times where in character I'll say something so cruel or, something I'm thinking but I would never actually say as myself. And it's very liberating to be able to say things that I'm thinking.
Can I give you some advice?
Yes.
Never tell people when those moments are.
I won't, I promise.
Because I would sometimes agree with my own character, but I never wanted you to know when that was. Because I'd like you to like me.
I'm such an awful person. I will never. No, we actually do see through it.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not.
She is not just a character. Miranda is Colleen. And also we can't ignore the fact that she was interacting with her minor fan base as Colleen outside of the Miranda bit. She used to have these group chats with her underage fans, they called Colleen's Weenies. Here's one where she said, "Are you a virgin?" She was asking the kids in her group chat. She also asked...
And she called them the Weenies?
Another one, "What's your favorite position?" This was all brought up by Adam, the boy that I talked about earlier. You can go watch his long videos about it. There was also another person that came forward that had very similar conversations, but with Miranda's brother, whose name is Trent, I believe. And her brother was also in his late 20s, early 30s, and was communicating with like a 13-year-old little girl. Like, apparently this whole family is just very screwed up and inappropriate. Like, none of this is family or child inappropriate, even though she knew that that was her audience. It was the kids buying her book where she taught them how to draw a penis, or if something got stuck inside of you, you should call your uncle, which was literally in her self-help book. It was kids selling out her live shows where she brought them on stage to sexualize them. Now, crude humor is pretty normal and commonplace these days, but this is absolutely abhorrent and inappropriate because it involves children, and it was tailored and directed at children. Now, the person who made this long Twitter thread posted this, which I think sums it up really well. He said, "I understand that Miranda is a character, but the Miranda uncle pedophile jokes that she thinks are jokes can put young sexual assault victims in danger. Kids don't pick up that it's humor right away, especially the younger they are. The stuff that she says is quite literally normalizing pedophilia for kids. Calling kids up on stage and having them do inappropriate things for a laugh will have an impact on them later in life, and it will have an impact on her audience and everybody who's watching." They go on and they say, "I know that you think kids are just kids, Colleen Ballinger, but these kids grow up into adults, and sexualizing them on stage is quite literally traumatizing. She was an adult. I cannot emphasize this more. She was 30 years old. She was old enough to know what was appropriate. But also, I have a bone to pick with the parents who brought their kids to these shows or let them watch Miranda Sings, because just pay attention to what your kids are watching. And as much as I want to tell Colleen that she should have been more responsible when it comes to her audience, at the end of the day, the parents are the people who determine what content and what values come into their home. And you might not be able to control what goes on.
That's going to be the whole defense right there, is, you know, it's up to the viewer on what they view. But, like she said, when your audience is all children, you know it's all children, you have an obligation to make your content appropriate for them. And, yeah, to not sexually traumatize them with some weird, creepy on-stage shit. That is definitely weird. That is definitely weird. But, yeah, I don't think I've ever heard or seen that girl before. So, pretty interesting stuff.